me see your best move. Anything could happen. Ever since I met you, no need to imagine. Baby, all I'm asking is let me take you dancing. If you know what I mean.
Welkom terug allemaal bij de European Masters. It's Chronicler and Trouble. And we're going to be looking at, hopefully, a game that was as good as the one we last saw. It's going to be Movistar taking on SuppUp.
Most importantly, I hope it's as good from, you know, the not better on paper team, which is SuppUp, because I really want to see the better teams being challenged. I feel like this EU Masters specifically is stacked with good teams, and even the minor regions are coming in hot.
And that's something that we've seen Samsung Morningstars come up out of nowhere, have a great showing. Obviously, to your delight, We Love Gaming have been on an absolute tear as well.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't take the win today, I still feel like the performance that they're putting up is so much better. And hopefully for SuppUp, they're going to be able to do that here as well. But against the Spanish savers, the #1 seed of the SLO, it's looking really rough.
So here's the thing with the SLO. They're always the teams that were coming in with the most hype. And the results are so lukewarm. You see that Vodafone Giants, you're like, are they good? I just can't tell. But you look at Movistar and you're like, these guys are not lukewarm. You put your hand anywhere near them and you're gonna get burned. They're coming in hot. If there was an SLO roster that I could put my finger on and say, yes, they can win EU Masters, that would be it. We sort of were talking about them and we compared them to top esports, where we're like, they're really good players individually, but every single one of them at any given moment can actually pop off.
I'm personally more of a dumb one, man. Really big heart. I know we're not very good anymore. I know we haven't won in ages. Is something gonna happen? Is Georgie gonna make fun of me again? Are you?
No.
I was kind of worried.
I actually had a problem with my microphone.
My region has
You're
been
like,
made
what
out
are
of
you
fun.
doing
So I'm
down
like,
there?
oh no, something's gonna happen.
What is he gonna pull out?
Nothing happened, fortunately for me, as we've seen already the draft. Caitlyn getting picked up here for Movistar Riders. The immediate answer by SuppUp with the Jhin, which is something we've seen a lot, and then the Volibear here as well, which has been an exquisite jungle, although it has been dropping in priority recently.
Yeah, he saw a couple of nerfs, but I still believe that he's a pretty strong jungler overall, and Jhin matches Caitlyn on the scaling potential that she has. Also in lane, you have a pretty good distance from her that you want to keep. And the thing here is with Jhin, since he's been picked that early on, what he really struggles against is tanks. So Movistar actually are gonna have to look to build some tanks, at least in the jungle and the top side.
And what we saw from Movistar yesterday was nothing but pure domination, because the way that they dismantled Gamer Legion, and I'm looking particularly at Xico, because his LeBlanc was not okay. And if I'm not seeing LeBlanc bans coming through in the second
Legal?
rotation, oh, hello. That's a Soraka. How do you feel about that, Soraka?
I absolutely love anything magey into Morgana, because the damage that you do, it takes the black shield away. You don't actually have anything to black shield there apart from a Jhin root possibly. So it's like, sure, a Morgana lays a hard push in lane, but the Jhin has a lot of poke, the Soraka has a lot of poke, and you don't have any region from the side of Movistar. What you have is poke, that Soraka is gonna heal. Just as 2 in the price of 1.
Movistar,
It's a bargain.
It's you know what? Why not? And the scaling is amazing. I'm a little bit worried in terms of the priority that you're gonna have against the Caitlyn Morgana, because that is
You'll be fine.
I hope so. For
There's just
SuppUp,
too
at
much
least.
poke, and especially if you go into the lane and put a couple of points on your Q onto the Soraka, you're gonna help the Jhin also push the wave back. So the Morgana Caitlyn lane, it's not gonna have as much of an impact.
And then you chuck a single grenade, and you're feeling good again. Thank you. Xico's LeBlanc has been banned, which I think is a grand call, because that was very, very, very good yesterday.
Love Xico, and now I'm not gonna take anything away from him, but since the last EU Masters, I've always had my eyes on JaVaaa. This guy's not playing ADC. This guy's an absolute assassin no matter what he plays. He plays the Kai'Sa, he's just gonna dive all the way into the backline, onto 5 members. He's gonna take their ADC down with him. He plays Jinx, he flashes into the opponent team, straight into their face, takes a double kill. Like, this guy is an assassin stuck on the wrong lane.
And I know how much you love assassins, and I gotta say, you gotta love the enthusiasm and the bravado of someone to just decide, I'm going to get excited. We're just going to flash into this as the Syndra is going to get looked in here for Movistar. And I'm seeing a similar style in terms of blow-up potential composition from Movistar that we saw from Misfits, which makes sense considering that Movistar is probably considering SuppUp a weaker opponent.
Yeah, and they also picked up the Twisted Fate, but you have a Black Shield, so you know you might want to play around the top side of the map. That's why you pick the Syndra right here, so you can push the wave really quickly and potentially roam. We saw in the previous game that the Syndra was roaming so much faster than the Azir. Here, the Twisted Fate doesn't necessarily have that much wave play into his kit to outpush a Syndra. And on the other side, you see that also you pick something that's more beefy and tanky on the top side, which is the Urgot. You also have to blind pick, unfortunately, which means that klowny will have his chance on a counter pick, which is something, because I have been a coach of klowny in the very past, like when I first started my career in esports.
How long ago?
3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
It was extremely long ago. And he was like this weak side top laner that would just play the tanks and just be there for the engage. Here, he's putting his foot forward. They're giving him the Camille. He needs to prove that that Camille will carry.
And if I look at late game situation where you're in a 1v1 with a Camille, you got a Soraka to help you, you're feeling quite great. Now, the EBL hasn't had the greatest last couple of EU Masters. For us as an SLO, like that you said, they always make it far, but I don't think that's enough for the SLO. I think they're looking to just take the whole thing. It's been quite a while, and Movistar Riders is the team that we prop up to be strong enough for that, to have enough talent. You already mentioned it's a team where everyone can pop off. How do you think that the composition they have so far is going to match up against what EBL or specifically SuppUp has brought here?
Yeah, they've got all the pop-off in there, don't they? They've got the Syndra, they've got the Caitlyn, too many headshots, too many spheres, too many scatter the weeks.
Too many everything.
Too many.
So much.
The pop-off factor is there.
As we get into the 5th game of the day, it's been a really, really long day of EU Masters, and I gotta say, we love that. Long games, a lot of action, a lot of close fights, and just as a whole, I think that we've seen time and time again that you can't underestimate an underdog, and hopefully for the EBL, hopefully for SuppUp, they're going to be able to do the exact same here as they take on Movistar Riders. But as the #1 seed of the SLO, I don't think they are wanting to drag this one out. I think they are having a composition with which you can just say, we're going to force whatever we can, and we're going to make this a quick one.
And they need to. You're going to be looking at the level 6s when Lukezy gets that level 6 on the Twisted Fate. You might be looking for a gank towards the top side with klowny. You lock in the Urgot, you take him down. Spooky is also a very, very strong jungler, a playmaking jungler that wants to create plays, wants to create pressure onto Movistar. And this is usually, a lot of times when when we're talking about, a minor region coming in and we're like, do not play the game of your opponent because they've already encrypted the code. They know how to play it better than you. Do not try to follow. Play your style, play the aggression, bring out the surprise picks. And here, SuppUp have actually drafted for that aggression. And their bot lane also is not going to get as pressured from what you would think from a Morgana Caitlyn lane, which is actually extremely oppressive due to the poke and the AoE.
Movistar Riders, a lot of pop-off plays, but if I look at SuppUp, who is going to be the person to take it here? Is it going to be Lukezy, who has the Twisted Fate, which he can influence the whole map, or is it going to be something more supportive, like TasteLess on the Soraka?
See, that's the thing. My answer would have been TasteLess if he wasn't on the Soraka. Yeah. Because TasteLess has been around the Balkan scene forever. He's literally the dad of the Balkan scene. He was there from the very beginning, playing in the biggest teams that have come out of the Balkans. But at this point on a Soraka, I definitely do not want to highlight him because it's going to be all about the top side. Lukezy making the play, Spooky creating the pressure, klowny showing that that counterpick that they gave him, they trusted him with, they have to go for it.
Needs to have enough pressure, needs to do well enough. And Urgot has been on a bit of a resurgence this EU Masters, as we see Elyoya just casually dealing with his jungle. A little awkward there as Blue Buff didn't quite die, but This Volibear, it's been an incredibly popular pick. It has, of course, been nerfed on 10.16. And we see teams still pick it up, but it's not nearly the high pick and priority that it used to have.
Yeah, we're seeing more of the Hecarim's and the Lilias popping up, but due to the Hecarim being banned here, I think that Sett has a huge priority in general. He's extremely strong, he has a fast clear, he can brawl with you if you find him into the jungle, he can close the distance, he has true damage, he has shield. There's nothing this guy does not have. So I feel like Sett has actually moved to the top of the priority list as well, because we don't necessarily see too many Nidalee in the European scene as a whole.
We are going for the bot side. Scuttle here will not be matching SuppUp, and also knows that the Volibear is running around, enjoying the depths of the forest as he will just back in the river there, and rhuckz and JaVaaa able to get the early pressure that the Caitlyn Morgana lane is so known for. But in terms of CS, as you were mentioning before, they're actually doing okay, and they're not getting pushed in as heavily as we have seen happen in the past. If TasteLess maybe going to go for a cancel, but that's a little bit premature from him, a little bit over-enthusiastic, and he's going to pay with his flash and the heal.
We talked about the Soraka being able to out-push you, but if you get caught, you're extremely squishy, you can't heal yourself. Now you've blown up W summoners. That kind of pushes you back in lane. You can't overstep. The point was here that you would push JaVaaa and rhuckz away from your own tower, so you could play that lane sort of in the middle. You could bring Volibear down there, get some pressure. But right now, missing your flash, you're going to have to play extremely conservative, because you definitely don't want to be giving early kills to a Caitlyn.
It's a really good way to lose all your turrets, as we do see Elyoya move towards that bot side, but deciding the better of it. Of course, his bot lane is also kind of planning to back earlier, and thus far it's not been a super eventful game, which is a really big change from, I want to say, yesterday and also earlier in the day, where there's a lot more level 1 action. Elyoya standing in the brush here, maybe looking for an opportunity, and SuppUp also there. Elyoya is going to see him, and it's going to be a 3v3 here, as the flash is forced, as Jhin runs away. Doesn't want to get anywhere near the Dark Binding.
That is 2 flashes down for the bottom of SuppUp, and they keep on pressuring. Elyoya has his flash available. I'm expecting...
And that's the phase break, and that's first blood. It goes very quickly, and you haven't even had the time to finish your Santas or Movistar Riders pick up the first kill of the game. We see SuppUp and Viz is able to get away, but that's not really the result that you're looking for.
And Viz and TasteLess did not respect the lack of summoners right there. Elyoya was towards the bot side. He was expecting, you know, SuppUp to be there. He was waiting for the counter gang. But since he sees Viz and TasteLess pushing way too far forward, he actually capitalizes on that and punishes SuppUp. But due to the reset that was spotted on a ward, SuppUp is able to walk in. TasteLess is coming back from the base, from the quick base that the opponents helped him take right there, and they're going to be able to grab a very free first dragon. This is extremely important. When you're the team trying to put the pressure down, trying to force the early game fights, stacking the dragons is the best thing you can do. You also take the Scuttle Crab, because your bot lane is summonerless.
JaVaa's back also getting cancelled. I'm not sure if it was Viz or if any other reason, maybe getting attacked by a minion due to him being in the brush there, as we've seen what Xico can do if he finds a lead, and he is putting the pressure on Lukezy here. Not going to be enough to take him down, but
he didn't blink. Ice cold. He's like, I am dying to that.
You're not afraid. Maybe should be if rhuckz is also going to come up, and that's yet another scatter the week.
It's a fat heal.
It's a really good heal. I mean, that's why you get the Soraka, but now TasteLess is stuck in a red awkward position, gets phase break again, and I've seen this one before. He will get blown up very unceremoniously.
I'm not sure if the Sett was actually spotted right there, but you would expect Elyoya to play aggressively because they had pushed Lukezy out of his lane. That means that Xico would be able to assist his jungler. They take the reset timers, and together with rhuckz, they get into the bot quadrant of SuppUp's jungle. They claim the blue buff, they take it away from the Twisted Fate. And so far, we were expecting SuppUp to make the place at level 6, and it's actually Movistar taking the game to them.
SuppUp not really able to match here. Tuka's already getting over. In terms of gold, it's still manageable, but we all know how quickly this can snowball out of control as the Ignite does come through. It's the CC chain that Morgana, Caitlyn, so notorious for, and now Elyoya also making his way towards the bot side. Sett, of course, a great dive as TasteLess is going to ward that brush, but there will be a twist of fate coming in eventually, but it's going to be to the top side. It's cross-map plays all along as TasteLess is left alone for the third time this game. Who got taken down, but SuppUp pick up a kill on beansu in the top lane.
Oh my god, I was expecting Lukezy to sort of make the savior play down there and dissuade everything, but he went all the way to the top side. But we mentioned how the top side is where SuppUp wanted to focus. Get the Camille ahead, destroy the Urgot. Actually, klowny is doing that. 22 CS ahead, he's extremely close to his Trinity Force, he also gets the kill. He should be able to smash beansu. They're also gonna get the Rift Herald. I'm expecting to see more gold feeding into that Camille, and it's all up to klowny to take this game and accelerate it.
I haven't had enough upset wins today. I want more. And thus far, SuppUp is doing a good job as we see a very doomed 3-man dive here.
There is absolutely nothing that you can do right there. Because there's too much point-click CC that's coming your way. beansu obviously doesn't even burn his flash. He doesn't have to. He needs to keep it for his lane or even a play later on. But now all eyes on the top side because bot lane, sure, VZZ was pushed out of his lane, but if you see the back timers and the items that they took, they are both sitting on BF.
Xico's not afraid of anything, goes very, very deep.
I mean, he should be now because he just lost his flash for nothing.
I mean, you put the fear in the heart of Lukezy.
He should put the fear in himself right now.
Well, yeah, because he's playing against the Volibear.
And he's constantly pushing mid lane.
Yeah, he still has cleanse. But it is something that I think if it pays off, it feels very good. But now it looks a little bit silly.
You're like, whoops.
Gonna forget about that one as
we're gonna have to keep track.
Again, it's a bot lane fight here. Spooky will find Elyoya. That is gonna engage on top of him as well. I don't know if you want to do that against Xico's. rhuckz has gone so deep here, finds 2-man with the chains. They're gonna be TasteLess going down yet again. The poor Soraka getting absolutely targeted by Movistar Riders that now take control. And for a composition that has a twisted fate, SuppUp isn't able to match the global game from Movistar Riders.
Here's a snowball effect, not respecting that level 3, going down, losing all of your summoners. That Sett is so strong, you can keep on punishing TasteLess over and over again. He's extremely squishy. He's not built any defenses so far on him. He's immobile. His flash does not count anymore because once you get engaged upon, you're just literally a piece of paper. They're gonna blow on you, you're gonna fall down.
SuppUp putting all their eggs into the klowny basket, which, to be fair, is working out well. It's been an immense gold lead, but I do feel like Urgot is the kind of champion where he's going to hit his 2 items eventually, and he's going to provide a front line for a very fed Hava. Is klowny going to be strong enough here?
Camille infinitely scales though, that's the thing, and she also has side lane pressure. You see that SuppUp, if everything goes bad, they can resort to a 1-3-1 composition and then put the Twisted Fate on the Urgot. Look at the gold difference that they have in between them. 2,000 gold difference between the two top laners. Almost 50 CS apart. This is klowny, again, putting his foot down, not on a tank, on a carry, gets the counter pick, makes it work so far. I'm expecting to see a Trinity Force and all the way down. This Dragon, even though it goes to Movistar, SuppUp will be fine with it because they have one themselves. All eyes on that Camille.
And you pointed this out earlier as well, is that first Drake can also buy you so much breathing room if you are having a rough time in the mid game, which currently it looks like they are on the bot side of the map. And now my question to you is the Caitlyn fat enough to snowball before that Camille really comes online? Because we already see the Triforce, but I think there's going to be eventually a point where no one can get even close to matching her. Does Movistar have the time?
They absolutely do. That is a Caitlyn that has done her work so far, took every single tire plating on the bot side. She's gonna move over to the top side right now. There's 5 platings for the taking there. You see instantly that the bot lane from Movistar are moving up there. Caitlyn is basically a tower taker. She's bot, again, it's all a domino effect. It all started from SuppUp having a great lane, disrespecting, the Caitlyn gets ahead. And it's not any Caitlyn, it's Hava's Caitlyn. If you see that Caitlyn in your backline, that's because he's playing Assassin Caitlyn.
He's not afraid. He's going to flash forward. He has a black shield. He is going to be fine. And I also want to...
If he had TP, he would flank TP, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, and I think Elyoya Sett has also been absolutely pivotal as some free plates are going to get picked up here, and this is more and more gold funneled. And beats, don't get near the turret.
Full turret platings on the top side. 4 of them, 5. The whole tower is gonna go down pre-minute 14. They've literally opened klowny's mouth and they're dropping coins into it. This Camille is absolutely rich, and in the previous game, we're talking about a very fat, big pocket full of money. This is what klowny has right now. He's double the CS of beansu. beansu is slowly bleeding.
The EBL invested all their money in the pockets of klowny, hoping that he can get SuppUp the win here. And here you see klowny doesn't care about beansu at all. That is not a trade. That is just
3,000 gold
one-sided decimation.
3,000 gold up, 13 minutes in. It's a whole item.
It's not good.
beansu has like a couple of HP. There's a call in there. He's like, maybe later on I can buy something with that. It's kind of like stocks that you invest in the call, and then you're like, I'll cash in later, and tab ice. That's all.
Yeah, which you gotta buy, but then you're dealing with precision protocol, and it doesn't feel
It's
good.
kind of like you're scattering around to find all the defenses.
Is this type of fight really what you want to do as SuppUp? Spooky has to immediately run for the hills, but there goes klowny. That's kill number 1. More and more gold coming into the pockets of this Camille, and that is a shutdown as well. And I'm starting to have faith. I think klowny, this is all on you.
He's looking pretty hot right now. That Camille is going
Absolutely.
to decimate a no-item Caitlyn. That Black Shield will do nothing onto Camille, and if klowny gets the target he wants in the next fight, it's going to be extremely dangerous. Now the next fight is going to be extremely telling of how this game will go. klowny will be starting to join the fights now with Trinity and the Vamp Scepter. He's going to have a lot of potential into solo killing JaVaaa on the back line. 1 minute, 45 seconds.
I would not be surprised if that's going to be klowny finds yet another kill and suddenly picks up a
He wants more
Ravenous
gold.
Hydra.
He's like, give me that objective as well.
All of it, all of it. And Movistar Riders, we wanted to see dominance. And like with the LFL, the SLO just doesn't seem to deliver. But this is not just about them having a rough time, it's about the talent that we see in EU Masters and how close these minor regions really are to some of the top teams. Because first, we saw that above all odds, Wheel of Gaming has been doing excellent. Samsung Morningstar have been looking amazing. And just now in the game, we saw that Pompa can even put up a fight. And SuppUp is doing the same here for the EBL. And Movistar, they need to take control of this game, because if you let this Camille just skill, I don't know if you're going to be able to stop klowny.
And this is where we talked about that EU Masters has been absolutely stacked, because we've all been talking about the major regions. Yes, they're absolutely fantastic, but these guys that no one counts on have come back to clap. And even if they don't take the seed, even if they don't get out of groups, they're gonna ruin your day.
That's really what you watch EUM for, right? The crazy upsets, the games that no one expects you to win, and then you do, which is a feeling that I as a Benelux caster don't know that well.
You've always wanted, right?
We've always get like the one win, although not the last EU Masters. We don't talk about that one. As Movistar Riders is going to be looking towards that Mountain Drake rather, and both teams currently on 1-1, so not even close. And I feel like this might be a longer game. And
klowny is pinging Xico. He's like, I want this guy.
He's ready, and he's going to be looking. And I'm looking at Xico, I'm looking at JaVaaa, whether or not they can stay safe. Because if that Camille gets on top of you, if the CC chain lands, we're in for a lot of hurt as the Rift Herald gets put down here in the mid lane. Not really any opportunity to answer here from SuppUp as that mid lane turret goes down. We do see Spooky trying to go for maybe something of a flank, but it's not really working out, whereas klowny is still pushing in the bot lane.
Yeah, he wants to create pressure on the side lane. I would like to see Lukezy do the same. He does have the destiny to join in whenever he needs to. We need to see that 1-3-1 here happening for SuppUp.
And there goes Elyoya yet again. He is the instigator of a whole lot of pain for SuppUp as Spooky gets blown up, doesn't even have the opportunity to keep himself alive with the ult there, as the cooldown is a painful one to watch. Destiny, the gate, it's not enough if you're already fighting on an even footing, and Movistar Riders, they pull the trigger. And this is the type of play that we expect to see. Decisiveness, pop-off moments, and individual prowess on the side of the SLO.
We're not seeing them stomping SuppUp, but Movistar are a team that if you misstep, they're gonna punish you instantly. They find Spooky, they take him down, that means no smite available for SuppUp, and they take the second dragon. klowny though.
He is looking a little bit dicey, but has the hookshot. Just gets out.
1v3 is a little bit, yeah.
I would love to see him try, but I don't think it's a very good idea. As we do see the item gap, you already talked about it. beansu has a phage.
Let's see how well it's gonna last.
This is not. But beansu, and this is something that you gotta give him some credit for. He knows. He can't move up in that side lane.
And he knows that Camille is gonna be around the bot side and possibly looking to kill him. This is a Camille that you need to die the least number possible to her. But he has a flash, okay? Leave the man alone.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Camille is illegal. You can't flash her ultimate. You're dead. Yeah.
You know, normally I'd say should, as Spooky is standing very deep for a man who doesn't have that much support, will dodge the binding.
That's fine.
Yeah, he can just walk out. Yeah. He's fine. He doesn't particularly care. And yet again, and this is something we saw in last game as well, the #1 seed for the region, not as dominant as we perhaps like to see.
Is it that, or is it the minor region stepping up?
I think it's both.
It's probably both. Because I feel like the level overall has risen, even from the minor region teams. And SuppUp here are coming in.
TasteLess, he flashes forward every single time. And he picks up the kill here as well as the turrets get pushed. TasteLess is not having a very fun game. Lukezy can't walk into that brush. Elyoya goes forward yet again. And he's going to stay alive for a little bit longer, but death in this scenario is unfortunately inevitable. It is klowny and Spooky who are just trying to proxy the wave, trying to keep the pressure off and do as much as they can. But I gotta say, the more I see the rest of the movement around the map from Movistar, the worse it looks, because Movistar have 5 players that are currently looking like, I mean, maybe not beansu, but 4 players that are looking like they can take it. Whereas for SuppUp, it's just klowny.
TasteLess is not looking hot onto that Soraka. Every time they found him, Assassin Caitlyn on the case. JaVaaa will dive in every chance he gets, and why not? Getting fed is the point. Lukezy does not respect the lack of vision in his own jungle. Guess what? It's not yours anymore. Get out of here. Back to the fountain. And the big question was, can klowny carry with all the difference he's made? Yes, but Movistar are taking the map by storm.
Trouble.
It's not just one from Movistar. It is the Sett, it is the Syndra, it is the Caitlyn, and slowly but surely, you know, the Urgot is
trouble.
farming.
Generally, if you say, can someone do something? Yes, but it means no. And that is something that, for the EVL, it's going to be rough.
It was more like,
it's
yes,
still
but
possible.
how easy is it going to be?
Exactly.
It's kind of like a 1v3. You have 3 fed members from Movistar versus 1 fed member from SuppUp.
Exactly, and that is a problem that is hard to solve. And as SuppUp, it's obvious that it's got to come from klowny, but how do you enable this player as much as you can?
That's how you do it. You put Lukezy around him, or you put Spooky around him. The second someone is trying to take the fight with him, and beansu is looking very, very...
I'm not sure if that fall was already the play. Redemption comes through, and beansu, they need to respect the fact that reinforcements are coming, as klowny and Lukezy now trying to get out. And Lukezy, maybe you can give it up, but klowny can absolutely not die. This Camille needs to stay as relevant as he can, as Elyoya yet again goes in deep. Has the extra movement speed, finds the face break, and Lukezy is going to get thrown into the wall. That suplex is the end.
They're doing the Baron, klowny is TPing in. It's not fast enough with the Jhin.
It was a bait!
But with the Camille there, this is actually possible. Look at Movistar running up there. Xico?
This is going to be the hero moment for Xico. Can he alone keep them away from this Baron? Spooky is going to be in a beautiful scat of the week. Cancels the flash. Thundering smash as we see the Baron gets taken low. It is not enough. It's not going down. It's at 50 HP, but it will be picked up in the end. klowny is going to go down, and that's more gold into the pockets of Elyoya. But SuppUp, they've completed the heist. Operation successful. Baron in the pocket.
I was on the edge of my seat. Spooky used his smite to catch Xico.
Baron empowered recall. TasteLess gets out. He got it. No one kills TasteLess 6 times in a row.
So I don't think that was the play from SuppUp, that what they wanted to do down there, because there was a lot of miscommunication between klowny and Lukezy. They wanted to go for beansu, but they didn't want to go for beansu. They didn't necessarily know. And on the backing off, SuppUp are like, we need to take something from the map because they're going to kill our mid laner. They take the Baron. Oh.
And now we see a little bit of over-enthusiasm, perhaps, as SuppUp is trying to do the objective here. Elyoya going in deep, and Lukezy already at half HP. That's not a great start to your fight, as Spooky kind of left on his own, and I don't know if the damage available, because the most fat member, klowny, the hero of SuppUp, he's not there. That doesn't work. Yeah, I know. Stunned silence.
I've also got my hands on my head.
I know, but that's not as easy to put into words. I can see it. Unbelievable. Movistar Riders.
There's so much miscommunication for SuppUp. They have the tools. They've had them from minute 1. They counterpicked them. They were red side. They wanted this composition to work. klowny proved that he can make it work, but they're not using the tools they have in their kit. When the Camille is not there, you can't fight. They did get the Baron, but I felt like that Baron was more of a stalling Baron rather than let's push together to try and turn this game around. And Movistar are going to be more than happy for this game to start stalling. You know, more items onto your Caitlyn, your Sett's going to be extremely beefy, and the Urgot from being very far behind.
Yeah, this is a very, very dead Urgot, although beansu stays alive for a lot longer than I thought. Maybe if he got another Fear Beyond Death, maybe the redemption was enough, but it was not, and he gets taken out in the 1v1. And I'm starting to think that what really separates teams like Movistar Riders, the #1 seeds of any major region, from minor regions like SuppUp, it's how well they can continuously find openings like this.
And it's how well...
rhuckz trying to make a good pointer as he goes in with the chains.
Oh, TasteLess.
And that's TasteLess. He gets taken down.
So back to my point, because
continue.
This is honestly boring to see TasteLess being picked off over and over and over again. You have a Soraka, you don't go that far into the jungle. It's too much CC to deal with. On the other hand, I feel like we're going back to the pop-off factor. We see klowny here with the counter pick, but as you can see, even rhuckz here, you think you've caught him, but you're caught in here with him, and TasteLess ends up going down. So
you think that looks bad, but then you realize it's a Volibear.
It's Movistar.
No, yes, but it's a Volibear and a Soraka. They're not really going to hunt it.
Technically, Lukezy had ultimate, but you definitely don't want to be ulting in there and getting yourself killed as well.
And after this, we're going to have Ego Rogue versus Gamer Legion, which is a match that I thought was going to be the most tense of the day, but thus far...
I'm hyped for that one.
Oh, I'm still hyped, don't you worry. But I got to say, both SuppUp and in the game before, it's been so much better than expected.
Yep, we've got teams stepping up. They're bringing the fight to the #1 seeds.
But in the end, the #1 seeds still win.
They're 4,000 gold in the lead. I feel Movistar are at a really good spot right now. 3 core items that Caitlyn needs to pump out that really hard damage. You've got 2 items on your Syndra as well. Guardian Angel on beansu because he's dying on the side lane, and it's going pretty well for them. And you see that klowny, slowly but surely, is starting to fall off. Not because Camille doesn't scale that great into the late game, but because itemization is coming from the side of Movistar, because they repeatedly keep on picking off members from SuppUp.
And klowny is just one man. He's a one-man army. He's still just one man against a Movistar that is...
Is it a 1v4 or a 1v9?
Yeah. I mean, beansu still has a sizable role as just a big beefy frontliner, especially with the damage that he can soak as Movistar Riders is moving towards the base of SuppUp, the EBL. There were highlight moments, but thus far they've not been able to match the #1 seed of the SLO that are looking to take, as expected, a win here. Not quite yet, as they will just take the input and back off, and now someone needs to deal with a very mad Camille in the top lane.
You know what the problem is? When the most fed member is not there to defend, you
cannot fight.
You cannot fight. You just run down all the towers. If you're Movistar, you're trying to force klowny to back off, but at this point, you don't care what klowny gets because it's all outside of your base. He's not threatening to take an inhibitor tower or an inhibitor, so he's like, fine, let him. We've pushed the bot lane, which is very important because someone's going to have to be there defending that while Dragon Soul and Baron are up and available.
And I'm looking for a way back into this game from SuppUp. And I know it revolves around klowny, but I'm having a hard time seeing it. It's just because of Movistar Riders. And this is something that, as I was pointing out earlier, maybe this is the real power as we see Elyoya move forward yet again. The man is not afraid of anything. Is the consistency with which they can find these openings, and they don't leave any openings for their opponents.
Every time they see SuppUp misstep, they're going to instantly punish. Hava is playing frontline. He doesn't care about all that nonsense. He's assassin Hava.
And now they're going to go for a possible Hail Mary play. We see the backline. Lukezy is going to come in. A beautiful ultimate there, but it's not going to be enough as Spooky has to run. beansu is tanking a lot of damage here, but in the end, Lukezy can't do anything. He's going to stay alive for a little bit longer, but that is not going to be very effective when you're still standing in the middle of 5 members. And now klowny is going to be able to get away, but the same can't be said for Spooky. He gets fined by the Dark Binding. That is a double kill for Movistar Riders, and they are looking like they've had enough of this game. Hava, he flashes them forward yet again. This man is never afraid to go for an opening if he sees one. And Movistar Riders are pushing on here. They want to close this game and signify the dominance of the SLO.
If they don't actually look to end right here, right now, they have a wave on the bot side. They can look to push further and end it, or at least leave SuppUp with 2 naked inhibitors. This is huge because SuppUp cannot move out of their base. There's a Dragon Soul waiting for Movistar. There's a Dragon waiting for Movistar. SuppUp look all over the place. And the question at the start was, can klowny carry? Because Movistar have actually more than one carry who is fed. The answer on that fight was no. There's so much miscommunication, miscoordination with Lukezy going in with his ultimates and whatnot. And as you can see here again, Elyoya is playing in the front line. Beautiful Black Shield to finish the day, and klowny has to ulti Elyoya, so he locks him in for that play. That means he can't reach the backline. Lukezy tries to make the play after the party is over. He arrived all dressed up, he was wearing his party hat, and everyone was sort of, you know, passed out on the couch.
No, he doesn't have his life cap yet. What are you talking about? He doesn't have a party hat.
That's not the party hat. He had like a paper party hat.
I'm confused. You have so many hats.
If he had the actual hat, maybe we'd see something.
Maybe.
But that was like a paper party hat.
And this is, again, the discipline that I'm talking about from the Movistar Riders, the way that they engage that fight, and just there's no fear. They know what they need to do. They know the calls. As they go in on Spooky here, Elyoya finds the flank, is going to go for Physicist and finds him as well, throws him into the rest of his team, but they're busy with klowny because klowny was looking for backline access, but Hava is having none of it. klowny goes in deep. The one-man army is not enough. He gets the shutdown, but he is the only member on his team that's really worth any threat, any money, or anything that the Movistar Riders need to be afraid of as they now charge towards the base. And without klowny, I don't know if they can really hold on there, especially considering that Jhin is dead as well.
Too little, too late. You get the Caitlyn. There's so many more that can actually push the lane and win the game for you. It is a 4v5. They're actually going to dismantle SuppUp here and get that win. And Movistar, #1 seeds, are looking pretty clean today.
We keep setting up for a dominant performance from the seeds. And time again, the smaller regions, the EBL. Previously, we saw, of course, a great performance from Samsung Movistar. I keep just don't want to end. And klowny, he is not happy. He is not ready. Is this going to be the amazing turnaround that we've been waiting for from SuppUp? Yes or no? The backline access is found. Caitlyn is nowhere to be seen. A lot of damage is missing here. klowny goes in deep. He finds Xico. And that's an absolutely pivotal kill as rhuckz tries to stall for as long as he can. Hava now joined the fight. Is the auto attack damage going to be enough? Can he carry this fight as Lukezy goes down as well? klowny still in the front. A triple kill for the top lane. Camille wants to dive in but is not allowed to. And in the end, the extended trade is going to be enough as Spooky gets decimated by auto attacks from the Caitlyn. Yet again, SuppUp evade death.
klowny does not allow this game to finish. He is not having it. He's like, they put everything on me. They put all the resources, the counter pick, the damage, the gold. This fight should have happened so many minutes ago, but at least we're seeing that SuppUp is willing to pull the trigger on a correct mana this time. And klowny, that triple kill was life-saving at this point.
I'm not going to believe this game is over until they actually kill the Nexus, because time after time after time...
We got baited by the lights.
Right? Movistar Riders, they have so much pressure, but look at the decisiveness from EBL here.
Oh, klowny, that was such a beautiful play. Straight onto the Syndra. Goodbye, good sir. And then he actually decimates everyone on his way. Doesn't matter if it's a tank or a carry or the support. That was such a beautiful back and forth play. You see that he pulls back when he doesn't have the engage and pulls back in to finish someone off. Really great potential here for SuppUp to bring it back.
klowny, the one-man army on this Camille, is doing his darndest to try and stay in this game. SuppUp do not want to give up yet another win to a #1 seed.
That was 4 items onto the Camille. He is actually a raid boss. Steraks and Death Stance, he's not going to be dying anytime soon. But remember, he's not alone. SuppUp need to play with their carry. They need to play the back and forth. They need to create the space for him. And Movistar have learned the lesson. They're not going to allow that. They start the Baron.
There is no room for error here for SuppUp. Their base is in absolute shambles. The Nexus, there's a highway, which is easily to get into as Spooky is trying to look for the Baron here. It will be the pickup. No steal available, really. Now Movistar Riders looking for the disengage, but klowny goes in. Look at that burst! As the Urgot gets absolutely demolished, but he doesn't go down, and klowny does. And without the one-man army, I don't know if SuppUp can hold on against the #1 seed from the SLO. Movistar Riders seems to have done it eventually. There was a valiant effort, but in the end, I don't know if it's going to be enough. This time, surely it's going to be over. Surely Movistar Riders is going to end it here. But what a performance from SuppUp.
I have to give it all to Movistar because they tried to give false hope to SuppUp. They're like, sure, get your Camille. Maybe you can win with that. But no, they slapped them back with a 10-1 Caitlyn, with a 6-1 Sett. This was such a great performance coming in, specifically from JaVaaa. That's not an ADC player, man. I'm just gonna continue saying that this guy should have played some lane that he could play assassins on.
Listen, 4. An AD carry that flashes forward, a 10.
What, 4 times this game?
4? 5 times? I didn't keep track. 10-1 AD, KDA, that's absurd.
Imagine flashing forward on ADC and not dying. This guy was ahead. Again, domino effect, not respecting the early laning phase versus Caitlyn. Really slapped them back. That was unfortunate.
What are you going to do? In the end, it's the #1 seed that takes the win again. Movistar Riders find it for the SLO. But after the break, we're going to be back with really more of a deep dive into why that was such a cool game. Welcome back to the final day, the first week of European Masters. I'm Chronotype, this is Trouble, and how good are the #1 seeds?
They're pretty dominant.
Yeah, except Mouse, they got one loss, but we don't talk about that.
One loss is nothing, man.
No.
It's just the drive that makes you want to try harder. So you just learn from that one loss.
And Movistar Riders, in the end, of course. Oh, sorry, paper. In the end, of course,
You're passionate about Movistar, no?
I'm very passionate about Movistar, but I'm also passionate about one man, and that man, it's got to be klowny.
Listen, as much as I want to give it to SuppUp for trying here, and obviously my boy klowny, shout out to him because he tried his heart out. The power of friendship was with him on this one, but it shows the mechanics beat the power of friendship here because one-man carry versus 5 men carrying at the same time from the side of Movistar was too good. And I have to give props to beansu because he was absolutely shattered in that top lane, and he knew. He just died 2 times. He pulled back, he knew what his role was, and then he allowed the rest of his team to carry for him, and oh boy did they perform. Xico in the mid lane with insane scatter the wigs, have a flashing forwards 4 times in a row on an assassin Caitlyn position.
Is everything you want to see, and that is something that you highlighted coming into that game is everyone on Movistar can pop off. And what did we see? Everyone did pop off. Even beansu, as you said, had a really tough laning phase. In the end, in the team fights, he was able to do what he needed to. He was the front line. He found the fear beyond deaths. And then Xico had a great game.
It's the top esports of EU Masters.
And Elyoya said, you got to imagine that like that.
It's every single one of them, yeah.
You just, rhuckz, yeah, as well. Those chains were amazing every time. The bindings in the early game that made TasteLess life really, really hard. It just kept happening.
It just kept happening. It felt like if we're going to go on to seeing what went wrong also for SuppUp and what they need to follow through and analyze with themselves is the coordination. There was a lot of miscommunication. You had the tools to play the 1-3-1. We never saw the 1-3-1 flourish at all. There was this completely disrespect in that level 3 in the bot. So they completely discarded the whole counter pick. The Jhin Soraka versus Caitlyn Morgana. We just didn't see it from there and on. TasteLess going 0-6 at some point. There's like a few boxes that need to be ticked just so klowny can be allowed to carry.
And unfortunately, for SuppUp, it wasn't enough. It was still a great showing, but in the end, as we said before, the SLO, this is the team that they focused their hopes on. And if I see performances like this where it doesn't matter what happens, the players, they pop off, they still look good, you got to feel amazing. Now, I expected the last game of the day to be the most exciting one, but thus far, the last 2 have been amazing as well. And that means that I can only expect the very best of a Gamer Legion, who is going to take on Rogue, and that is going to be an absolute banger of a game. We're going to go to a short break, and then we'll be right back with the final game of the first week of EU Masters.